If there's one thing that I could say to the people of God, it would be this: be a person of your word. You see, as Christians, we are poor testimonies of Christ when we don't follow through on our word, and not to mention, we give other Christians a bad name. Now, two things that I've heard people say about Christians as of recently is this, is that many of them, they don't follow through on their word. And secondly, many of them are cheap. They buy cheap, they talk cheap, they live cheap, and they even tip cheap when they go out to eat. I've even heard of Christians who will get work done, whether it be on their car or whether it be on their house. I've heard of Christians who will try to dodge people so that they don't have to pay for the work that they just had done. And that, my friend, I believe is a poor testimony of Christ. And that person needs to be saved, because in my book, that's called stealing. You see, the Bible tells us as believers, we are to be above reproach. Give people no reason to slander you or the name of Christ. If you say you are going to do something, then do it, and do it immediately. Be a person of your word, or at the very least, don't publicize what you are going to do or promise and commit to doing something that you have no intention following through with. Because when you fail to follow through, you make your word of no value, and secondly, you make yourself out to be a liar. Listen, I'll be honest with you. When people tell me what they are going to do because of past experience, I have a hard time believing them, and I let what they say go in one ear and out the other, because talk is cheap. In the body of Christ, we have too many talkers and not enough doers. Now, if you want to stand out from everyone else, then learn to be a doer. In the book of Corinthians, Paul admonishes us. He says, let your yes be yes, and let your no be no. Paul is telling us here, follow through on your word. Don't be known for being a person who says one thing and does the opposite. Because when you fail to follow through on your word, you are like the boy who cried wolf, who nobody will believe or ever take seriously. So let me close this off by saying this: follow through and make good on your word, because our decisions, our actions, and our word will paint a picture of God on the canvases of people's minds. So make sure that the right picture is being painted on their minds.